What's up, YouTube? How y'all doing? Hope y'all having a good day today. So, I know. It's been quite a while yet again. Excuse me. But, yeah, like I've said before, I'm a very busy guy. I work a lot of hours. I don't get paid to do YouTube. I do all of this for free for informational purposes only, or mainly for informational purposes. Um, so that's part of why I haven't been putting out videos lately. But another reason too is I didn't want to speak on things when I didn't have the right mindset at the time. So several factors involved with my mindset being a little screwed up. One of them, I'm about to start wrapping up here real soon, within a week or so. It's going to hopefully will be done and done with it. So if you've been following my channel for a while, you would know that I was involved in a very bad car accident. It'll be 4 years this December. I can't believe it's been that long. But yeah, December the 7th, 2018. I should have died that day. A drunk driver hit me going about 70 plus miles an hour. I was in a 2010 blue Ford Mustang that basically got turned into a smart car. The trunk got shoved up into my back seat, so it looked like one of them little boxy smart cars. And did a pretty good hit. How do I put it in words? I don't really like talking about it because I don't know. I feel like people might think I'm dumb or less than, but I took one hell of a smack to the head, essentially. You know, I mean, he was going so fast that when he hit me, he was in a Jeep Commander, by the way, which outweighed my Mustang by like 1,500 pounds or something like that. He hit me so hard in the back that the vehicle basically kind of rode up and dug into my Mustang. He basically halfway rode up onto my Mustang and then rolled across the intersection. That's how hard he fucking hit me. And he was drunk and high at the time. I mean, the cops found a big bag of weed in his car, and on top of that, they found I don't know how many beer cans out in the street from when his vehicle hit and flipped. And he took out a bus stop too. Luckily, this was late at night, and there wasn't anybody at the bus stop, which that could have been bad. He could have gotten somebody killed. You know, I mean, he almost got me killed, son of a bitch. But and but what it's done to me is now I have post-concussion syndrome. The neuropsychologist says too, he feels like I have dysthymia disorder now, which is a type of depression disorder, and a mild TBI. And this is the part I only talk about. TBI basically stands for traumatic brain injury, and I had a mild one at that. So they did all these tests on me, and come to find out, I mean, I learned a couple new things about myself through these tests. I'm very smart, is what the guy says, that I have a very high nonverbal IQ, which is, they do too. There's a verbal IQ and a nonverbal. The nonverbal is shit like, you know, mathematics, science, and, you know, shit like that. And he said that based on my nonverbal IQ, he says that you have very high visual perception, and you know, you would have been a great surgeon or architect or something like that. And so, well, I'm kind of somewhat in a field I'm using my intelligence for. I'm a certified welding inspector, and I work in construction, and, you know, look at blueprints and drawings all the time. So, but here's the part that I learned I didn't like, and he said that he suspects that the damage, or the part of my brain that got damaged, is the emotional regulation part of my brain, and that's where the whole dysthymia disorder comes in. Yeah, so I struggle with how to put this. Okay, here's an analogy I like to tell people to help describe what it's like as far as what I deal with in my personal perspective of dysthymia disorder. So let's say your average person's day is, let's say it's like the sky. An average day for the average person, I would assume most people's days are good. You know, they might have blue skies with some clouds in it, like kind of like right now here. You know, blue sky with some clouds, right? And a person who suffers a severe depression, most of their days are like thunderstorms, raining, lightning, you know, gusty winds, right? You know, that's you know, what do they call that? Major clinical depression or something like that. And but my day on average, I mean, I still have my nice, you know, blue sky days, but my average day is overcast. I'm not like absolutely sad, somebody kicked my dog type of attitude, gloomy all the time. But on average, I feel a little low. My average day is a little depressed. That's my average day. And yeah. On average. And I do have my, you know, thunderstorm days, and I do have my clear blue sky days, but I have less clear blue sky days now because of part of my I hate saying this, brain injuries. So again, the doctor's like, your intellect's fully intact. I don't think it was really affected at all. He didn't notice one thing. My processing speed is when I'm focusing on one task at a time, he said I scored average, basically. He said, but that's, your processing speed has probably been affected because, no, not my processing speed. My processing speed is a little weak, actually. He said that's below average. No, what I meant to say is my short-term memory. My single task short-term memory is a weak average. He said 100 would have been average. I was scored like a 90. So I have some minor short-term memory issues when it comes to a single task. Now, multitasking, forget about it. Like, I have terrible multitasking memory, which is not the same thing. I thought I had short-term memory loss. He says, not really. You have multitasking memory issues. I know it's gotten better, but I know I still have issues with it for sure. So, you know, I remember when I was out on a job, I typed all kinds of silly, stupid notes that really I don't really need now. I still do need to take more notes than what I used to. But back then, when I was still healing, when I had, you know, shit like, you know, when it came to like a particular weld number, or, you know, because there'd be times where I only get one weld number at a time, but I'd forget it. The simple things, you know. So I had to write it down. This is the number I had last. This is my next number, and then I had to make sure to keep myself in check, or I would have messed up, and I probably would have gotten fired from, you know, my job, because you got to be able to multitask when you're an inspector. And I was a good thing I was on an easy job, because even though it was easy, I was still struggling with it. But I still struggle with it to this fucking day, and it angers me when I think about it. But anyhow, but the biggest issue is the insomnia and the depression issues. And also, too, another symptom is I kind of have issues handling certain types of stresses. I can handle work stress, you know, pretty decent, you know, because it's not something that's like near and dear to my heart. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong. I like my job. Well, not really. I don't like my job. I don't hate my job. It's okay. It's, you know, I'm not miserable when I'm at work, but I'm not all like, yay, I'm going to work. You know what I mean? Which I think is more than what a lot of people can say. I think most people hate their job, or at the least dislike it. But moving on. Where was I going with this? Short-term memory. Talk about that. Oh. So yeah, my big issues I'm suffering with right now is insomnia and that whole dysthymia disorder. And when I stopped making my videos, everything was kind of hitting at once, and on the emotional stress side of things, really wasn't handling it the best. And I got really down, and I got really kind of negative, at least negative for me, my mindset on how things are. And I didn't want to be making videos and say something that's like toxic or really not correct, because I was looking at things through, you know, dark lenses. Had to do a dad joke, had to do it. But no, in all seriousness, you know, it's like, no, I can't be making a video right now. I got a screwed up mindset right now. I just need to lay back, take it easy, because I was putting out, you know, because I started to do it a couple of times. I deleted those videos. But yeah, I don't want to be promoting negativity on this channel. I just want to promote knowledge and information. You know, that's the main goal of this channel. You know, from day one. You know, I'm not trying to make money off it. I'm not trying to be famous or a millionaire or whatever the fuck. I don't care. So, had all these stressors just kind of hitting all at once. I just got out of a toxic relationship. Probably the most toxic relationship I've ever had. And I'm gonna get into the reason why, but yeah. We'll put it this way. For those of you out there who went through a breakup where you were like deeply in love with somebody, but then y'all ended up breaking up, don't lie to the person and say that you're over them and that you've been broken up for a year when really you only broke up with that person for like a couple of months before you and this person started dating. Don't do that. That's bullshit, because then that leads to issues to your new relationship, and then you miss out, you lose out on a good thing. So, and I know I'm a good thing. I'm, for the most part, have myself together, you know. I don't do any of that toxic bullshit. So, all right, enough about that. So, moving forward, I'm going to start becoming more regular again with the channel. And I'm also working on my other issues too. I'm actually signed up for therapy. You know, I had done therapy before in the past, but I didn't really have good therapists. At least not the right ones for me. But this new therapist, he specializes in SBT therapy, which stands for solution-based therapy. So I'm going to be trying that, because, I mean, I was confused on it. I was like, isn't that what all therapists do? And he's like, well, no way. The way I do it is we talk on your issues, we find the cause of the issues, but instead of dwelling on the whys and the whos and the whens on those causes, we're focusing on the solution to your problem. And I was like, isn't that what they all do? He's like, well, no, you know, a lot of therapists, there's like a humanistic approach where the therapist tries to get you to come to a conclusion on your own. And then there's a like Freudian type therapist where they're hyper analyzing your past. And, you know, and I'm in agreement with this therapist. He said, I believe the past is definitely relevant, but it's not the main thing. Like, your past isn't everything. You know, he says it's, you know, yes, things in the past are obviously important, but, you know, how are you going to move forward if you're dwelling on the past for too long? Acknowledge it, that was the problem, and then move forward. So, but yeah, that's the type of therapy I'm working on now. Gonna be wrapping up my court case too soon, because yeah, that drunk driver who almost killed me. I'm suing his insurance company. Thought about going after him just to make his life miserable, but my lawyers were like, probably need to go for the insurance company. So, but that's neither here nor there. And I'm also going to go back and I'm going to wrap up some, you know, other little, I guess you'd call it like little mini series, mini episode, whatever, on when I was talking about dating transgender women. I've done a couple of, videos on dating transgender women and dealing with disrespectful comments, dealing with family or whatever. There's a couple more episodes I want to do on, or videos I want to do on that. I'm going to wrap that up. And then I'm going to be starting a new thing where it's mainly going to be for the guys in relationships or pursuing relationships or wanting relationships with women of transgender experience. And probably going to hurt some feelings. Some of the ladies' feelings. But for those of you who have your head on straight, you have good intentions in your relationships and with your significant others and whatever you call that person or persons, if you're one of those polyamorous people, not judging, do you, good for you. I'd be too jealous for that, but hey, right on, power to you. But moving forward, if you have good intentions and you tell the truth and you're honest, none of these videos I'm going to be doing to help the guys that are going to bother you one bit, you know, not a single bit. But for those of you who haven't grown up yet, or who have ill intentions. Like I've heard some ladies say that all the men are good for is for their pocketbooks, for their money. And generally those ladies, not all, and I'm not saying every single woman in that particular industry is bad or whatsoever, and I don't think any less or any more of anybody in those industries. But generally the ladies that say that are escorts. And I actually had women talking shit about my first video, about me saying, people say, oh, it's your coming out video. No, my family knew about me years before that video anyways. Years, not year, years. I had other intentions with that video, but moving on. They were talking mad shit about me, how I need to go back into the closet because if all the guys come out, nobody's going to pay them. I'm like, see, that sort of negativity holds back the community, and it just pisses me off and irritates the shit out of me when I hear shit like that. But yeah, so it's probably going to hurt the feelings of those who aren't looking for relationships. And yeah, so gonna be doing some videos for the guys and whatnot, because nobody, I mean, and let's not get it twisted, I know women of transgender experience, they go through a lot. And I would even say they go through, I would say without a doubt they go through more than what the men who date them. Obviously, I'm not arguing that whatsoever. However, I will argue for the fact that nobody's really there for the guys, because I'm one of them. Only recently did I actually have something of a support group through a Facebook group called the Men Like Us Tribe. That's only recently have I had actual, like, a little support community group, you know. And here's some other factors too, for the men. And then this isn't just a in the community type thing. It's like all over. Then who is more likely going to commit suicide? Men. Who's more likely going to die on a job site? Men. All right. Who's more likely? What else? What was the list going through? Oh, who gets screwed over more in divorces and separations? The men. Who gets their children taken away from them? The men. So when it comes to the aspect of relationships and dating, I would argue that, you know, women, and that's an umbrella term for all types of women, for the most part, get the better end. For the most part. Not all women. There are some. There's always going to be outliers in any situation. But my goal for this next step in the YouTube series, whatever you want to call this, is I'm going to make some stuff for the guys from my perspective, from my experience, and hopefully it helps a guy, you know, come to terms, or helps him navigate a relationship, or maybe avoid a relationship with somebody who's just not ready. You know, everybody deserves love. Everybody deserves to be in a relationship if they want to be, you know. But some of y'all aren't ready for a relationship yet. Some of y'all have negative, you know, toxic traits right now. And I hear it a lot too. Like, a lot of the ladies, especially in their 20s, early to mid 20s, usually aren't ready for relationships. Not all, but a lot of them. And they get into a good relationship because, again, we all know, you run into a lot of shithead men. I get it. But it still doesn't make it right for you to hurt and break the heart of a man who is good, who is trying his best to be in a loving, you know, happy relationship with you. And you go and ruin it by lying, cheating, manipulating, misusing, and emotionally abusing. And hell, we've heard some ladies physically abused. Never been in that situation on the physical abuse side, but, you know, doesn't make it right. Yes, you've been through a lot of hurt, but that's not an excuse for you to go and hurt somebody else. It's bullshit. So, but yeah, that's all I got to say for right now. Expect more videos to be rolling out. I'm not sure what my consistency is going to be. Last time I tried shooting for one video every week. For the most part, I stuck to that, but I don't know what it's going to be this time, because, again, working more hours and all that good stuff. And I'm going to be doing some other more personal developments too. Like I said, the therapy, and I'm going to be doing some different things as far as my workouts go. So, anyhow, this is concluding this video for today. I think it's a great end to a lovely mini vacation I took down to Florida, a little 3-day vacation. Still looking at wanting to move down here, and I think it's just only gotten stronger now. Like, I fucking love this area. Don't particularly care for the governor right now, so that guy's kind of a shithead. But yeah, so for those of you who continue to support and who are still signed up to my channel, thank you. I appreciate your support. And tune in for more. Peace out.